A lot of you guys were asking about my settings in the last aquarium video, so today I'm going to break down each setting and why I used it. Let's go. Also, I'm at work right now, so don't mind the messy hair, but I had to make this video real quick because I know a lot of people were asking. So the first setting I'm going to talk about here is focal length. So the things to consider with this setting is you have glass, right? And in my case, the glass at the aquarium was super scratched up and had some fingerprints on it and stuff like that. So you want that as out of focus as possible. And to do that, I used a 70mm lens because the blurriness of the foreground will be higher, right? So you're not going to see those scratches as much, and you're going to get a much cleaner image of your fish. I know many of you guys asked about reflections and if I used a CPL filter or something like that. I didn't, because what causes reflections is when you have light behind you, right, shining into the glass. And the aquarium I went to was actually super dark background, and there was only light within the actual tanks. So there were no real reflections I had to get rid of. The second setting is shutter speed. So for most of these pictures, I went between 1/400 and 1/500. But what I found looking back at a lot of my images is that a lot of them were blurry and a little out of focus. So I would actually go a little higher for fish, especially ones moving fast that you can't track as well. So I would recommend maybe 1/600, 1/700. The higher the better, but obviously base it on your lighting conditions. Then for f-stop, I found at f2.8 with a 70mm, a lot of the fish were out of focus. So I would recommend 3.5 to 5 is a good range to keep the entire fish in focus but still get that blurry background. Now the last main setting is ISO. I would go as high as you need to expose properly for the background. Most of my pictures were at around 2,500 to 4,000, so whatever I needed to properly expose the fish. And then in post-production I used Lightroom denoise to get rid of a lot of that grain, so that really helped out. The main thing for getting sharp images is using a high shutter speed. That's the biggest component. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed.